My name is Alvin Brown and Associates. We're a law firm. We represent clients throughout the United States and also abroad. There's probably people that we've done work for abroad in over 40 countries. But in any event, what we specialize is in dealing with IRS issues and problems. Any issue that anyone has any problem with the IRS. Today I'm going to speak to you about the subject of the Statute of Limitations. The reason I know it's an important topic is because the webpage that I have gets a large amount of hits. People want to know about the Statute of Limitations. Well, the first thing you should know is that the Statute of Limitations will run starting from the time you file a tax return. If you don't file a tax return, forget about it. It's not going to happen. If the IRS files a tax return for you, forget about it. It's not going to run. So when you think about the statute of limitations, always understand that you're going to benefit when the statute of limitations runs because there's some time limitations, and for that reason it's extremely important to file tax returns. Even if you don't have the money to pay for the amount of your tax liability, file the darn tax return, because that's going to begin the period for the statute of limitations. They have 3 years to assess you. If they don't assess you within 3 years, 99% of the time, that's going to be the end of it. You're free and those returns are safe. I do think you should hold those returns for at least 6 years. If you underpay your tax liability by 25%, or if their IRS finds fraud or thinks there's fraud, they can go to 6 years. Statute of limitations for fraud is 6 years. And the IRS will examine people for 1, 2, or 3 years, and that's about it. If they don't audit you for more than 3 years, that's good news, and that's because they don't think you've underpaid substantially. And even if there is a substantial underpayment, they're not inclined to want to go 6 years. They have a very busy caseload, and they have limited manpower, and they're normally not going to go to 6 years. But the importance of filing tax returns with regard to statute with regard to the statute of limitations is critical. If they assess you within that 3-year period, they have 10 years to collect. And that's where a lot of problems come in. A lot of people get assessed for one reason or another, and the IRS takes enforced collection actions against them, and they always want to know, when the statute of limitations expires. Well, you can call the IRS, and they'll tell you the remaining period left on the statute of limitations. There are some strategies we use to sort of try and keep things calm during that 10-year collection period. This past week I got 2 letters from the IRS where 2 of my clients, all of their tax liability was excused, and one of them has had assessments of over $200,000. So, it's a wonderful thing to keep track of, and it may help you if you have an assessment, particularly in these difficult economic times where a lot of people can't pay their tax debt. If you file an offer in compromise, or if you go into bankruptcy, those 2 events will defer the statute of limitations corresponding to the amount of time you spend in an offer in compromise, and also corresponding to the amount of time you spend in bankruptcy. So that period of time is tacked on to the 10-year collection period. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if people living and working abroad will also defer the statute of limitations and extend it. Actually, the statute just stops running when you are working and living full-time abroad. and the IRS doesn't keep good track of that, and a lot of people living and working abroad get their tax liability eliminated because the IRS simply doesn't know where they are. The IRS keeps sending mail to your last known address. In any event, for those people who are constantly looking for statute of limitations information, I hope that this YouTube video will be helpful to you. If you have any questions on the statute of limitations, you can get a free consultation in my office. All you need to do is ask for a tax attorney and call this number. You write it down, 888-712-7690. You can hit extension 111 or you can hit extension 104, and those are assistants who will make an appointment for you to speak to a tax attorney, and there will be no charge for that consultation. Thanks very much for listening.